Welcome to another edition of Blathercast Comics, where we talk about comic books, pop culture, and the whole question.
The whole question.
Yeah, we solved the universe, the ultimate question.
The ultimate question of the universe.
Right. The meaning of the universe. I can't even tell a good joke.
No, it's terrible. That was John telling the joke. And
By
I'm
the way,
Dave.
I'm John. Yeah, right. Oh, man.
So I had a pretty busy weekend, I think.
Me too.
So I started watching. I watched the first 4 episodes of Altered Carbon. And I had Wrestle Mania to watch last night, so that was pretty busy.
Did the Giant beat Hulk Hogan against Randy Macho Man Savage and Brother Love? Wasn't that the matchup?
Maybe, yeah. 1982, maybe. It was all right. The pay-per-view, it was all right. It wasn't my favorite WrestleMania. It was okay. It's long, super long, man. I was falling asleep. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it to the main event.
So have they made all the women get breast reduction?
No.
I was just wondering if they were taking that stance as they have in the art world lately.
No, let me tell you, like, the women are women in WWE. They're really entertaining, to be honest with you. Like, sometimes they're better. Sometimes they're just flat out better than the dudes. Yeah, like they're tough chicks, man. There's no like, they didn't turn them into, I don't know, whatever Marvel Comics has done to their characters. They haven't turned them into that.
So what about Altered Carbon? What'd you think of the first 4 episodes?
I liked it. I'm liking it so far. Yeah, it's definitely got a little bit of things that are different than the book, but I think everything's fine. And the detective there, the girl Kristen,
Yes.
like she's hot. Obviously, got a crush on her, but like when I was reading the book, that's the kind of person I thought she would be. So like I think that was like perfect casting and the acting and all that. Like she got the character perfect to me.
Yeah, I know the one thing is he's a lot more brutal in the book than he is in the show. Like, the book was brutal.
Yeah, he's pretty brutal in the show from what I've seen, but there is definitely one scene where I thought he would maybe because they described it in the book, I don't know. But yeah, he's pretty brutal in the book. He really doesn't care.
Yeah, I can't wait until you're done with the show and we can talk about the divergence. I think they did a decent job of keeping this story line pretty much the same. They definitely introduced some different dynamics to tell the same story in the show. But yeah, we'll talk about it when you're done.
Yeah, I liked
just
it.
wanted to see what you thought so far.
Yeah, I think I dig it. I like it. Yeah, there's some changes, but the changes aren't really that crazy so far. And yeah, the story seems to be on track. The dude that plays Browncroft, though, is the like was the killer in that TV show on Fox, the Following with Kevin Bacon, and he's playing like the exact same character. It's like the same dude. Almost.
Kind of. The Following was a terrible show.
It was awful. So yeah, I watched that, and yeah.
Outstanding. So, yeah, I read a bunch of stuff this weekend. I had to bail my dog out of jail. Um, that wasn't
What
fun.
what did he do?
Well, we had that windstorm and it broke my gate and I didn't realize it and he ran away.
Oh man.
So I had to go to the pound and get him. And of course, we were babysitting another dog, so I had to get him and the other dog.
Oh,
So
that stinks.
so I was like, "Oh, pay us or we put your dog. Do you have 5 days or they put your dog up for adoption?"
Oh, dude, that stinks.
So they charge you $20 a piece for picking them up,
Yeah.
and then $20 a piece per day to store them. So it was $80 there, and then of course I didn't have any other paperwork or anything for the one I was dog sitting, and I couldn't find the paperwork for my dog. So I had to get new rabies shots all around. They wouldn't let me take them unless I got them new rabies shots. So I had to pay for that. I was like, ugh. Well,
Dang.
that part sucks, but it's like, I'm just glad that they were safe and didn't get hit by a car or something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that stinks. Yeah, there's a lot of wind here the
yeah.
last bunch of days.
Oh,
Stinks.
there's such a mess in my yard to clean up. So many branches and crap I got to take care of. Oh, well.
Yep. It was snowing yesterday. That was cool. It's like April 8th. It's snowing. Awesome. I love when spring comes early. That's great. So let's talk about some books here. What do we got? You
So
you you read Curse of Brimstone as well, didn't you?
I did. Um, I'm not sure that I dug it all that much.
So like I like it. Um I heard that Justin Jordan said some not so cool things. I don't know about like people from small towns and shit. And like I'm small town punk, man. So I don't know what this dude's problem is. But
Are you saying that how he does Southern Bastards too, right?
no, that's Jason Aaron.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they barely do it. One book every 18 months isn't really doing it, is it? But
Oh, so they've slowed down on that a bit.
dude, I've been waiting for like issue 20. Think about it. When did you stop reading it?
Uh, probably 13 or 14.
Yeah, exactly. And in that time, they've put out
And
what?
I haven't been reading comic books for 18 months at least.
Exactly.
So,
No, I heard in an interview or something or on social media. I don't know. He blocked me on social media, but um, I heard he said something about like small town people are stupid and they voted for Trump or something and they needed to be re-educated. Well, I didn't vote for Trump, and if people did vote for Trump, I don't think it's because they're stupid. But anyway, the
yeah,
book.
and I'm not so sure I am cool with anybody who says people need to be re-educated.
Yeah, I don't know if this isn't a direct quote. Like I don't know.
Right.
I read something and saw something.
That seems pretty fascist to me.
This is an inexpert quote, not an actual quote. It's what I saw.
Rumor.
It's like it's a rumor. I'm not spreading it. I just saw that maybe he said something like that. I don't know if it's true. I heard it third hand, but that's it. So like actually like the book though. It is a guy in a small town who doesn't have any money, and his dad is on disability, and his sister is working all kinds of shifts at this diner to get herself through college. She's going to be in the medical field.
Nursing school.
Yeah, nursing school. So she's going through that, and he's kind of doing everything because he knows she's smart and she has a future, and he really thinks that he doesn't. And then he like kind of has a little bit of a. You could tell that this guy's not that. I don't know. He's been troubled with the law on and off. The sheriff says stuff. This guy comes to town, makes him a deal, like I'll save your town and this, that, and the other thing. Everything will be great. You just have to work for me. And he basically makes him a ghostwriter. It looks like it's like the Ghost Rider story. You know, I like the art by Philip Tan. The story was simple, but we kind of knew that this guy will do anything for his sister and to save his town, even if it means making a deal with the devil. So there's that.
Yeah. I thought it was all right. I don't know. I didn't like the character that much, and I come from a small town, way smaller than your town.
Yes, you do. Way
and,
smaller.
And yeah, way smaller than the town that I live in now, which is smaller than the town you live in.
I know.
Like, I come from a really small town.
When I was a kid, this was a really small town.
And that character just reminds me of all the assholes that I grew up with that just are still assholes and are still doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like, can't get their head out of their ass, and it's not. I don't know any. I just felt like the excuses rolling off of why he. Like, I don't know. Some people are just dumb, I guess.
Yeah, I don't. You know, like, I sympathize with the character a little bit. Like, it's a small town; he can't find work. He wasn't really that bright of a student, and maybe he just didn't apply himself. But you know, he does have a lot of like things that did happen that were kind of out of his control, I guess. So I don't really think that it's necessarily like he's stupid that he couldn't better himself, but I think he's feeling like really, really sorry for himself at this point, and maybe that's not a really likable quality in a character when you first meet them.
Yes. Yeah, I don't dig people who feel sorry for themselves, I guess.
I think if maybe if you the character was around a little bit longer and they felt sorry for themselves, or their circumstances were really that bad, I think you might have a little more empathy for them. But in the first 20 pages of a book, maybe you're just like, who is this guy? Who cares? Oh, cry me a river. Yeah, I get that. What is your stance on creators on social media blocking you without you ever interacting with them? Do you like? Would you not buy their products because of that, or
no?
Do you not care?
I could care less. I mean, I'm pretty sure that this Days of Hate book, I'm pretty sure that guy's blocking me.
Yeah, El Scott is the writer.
I mean, I'm not sure. I haven't checked because I don't.
You don't care. Yeah, you don't follow him either.
I don't follow him either, probably.
Yeah. The one thing about like the Justin Jordan thing that, you know, he blocked me, I guess because since I am a store owner, it kind of irritates me because I do like say good things about his work for the most part, and that I have to sell his books usually, especially if he's on a major title. I have to get it. Like, I have to get it. I'm not dumb. I'm not going to not make sales. So it's like that one sense, but it's kind of irritating as a comic book store owner to be blocked by someone that you never interacted with, and who I never really interacted with him on Twitter, but I've met him twice at Charlotte Comic Con and bought a bunch of things from him personally that I didn't have to buy from him at his table because I could just order them through the distributor. I had a chat with him, and I do enjoy that book, Dead Body Road, which I bought a trade of and he signed, and he was a nice guy to me. But yeah, I think it's kind of weird to mass block people. I don't think it's will help your sales. I don't know necessarily if it'll hurt it so much.
No,
but maybe as a store owner, if you block me and I never really interacted with you, it's kind of, I don't really take it too personal, but it's kind of like a fuck you. A little bit, I guess. And I guess that they're trying to protect themselves from anybody that follows certain people or whatever. I don't know. I don't know. It's Twitter. It's not that big of a deal. But I don't know. It's kind of like maybe when someone asks me for a good story, I go, "Oh, you know what? I really like that Josh Williamson guy. He didn't really block me on Twitter, and I like his stuff anyway. Like maybe I don't recommend your stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I know that I did follow Justin Jordan, and I'm pretty sure that I did interact with him and I think it was always praise. Like, oh man, picked up this book. I really loved it.
Yeah,
I just looked. I'm blocked also.
yeah, you are.
But I see your point. He writes this book. Maybe I won't buy it anymore. No, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care.
it's just one of those kind of things that I see people debate about. And I think it was kind of interesting to talk about a little bit, but I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't have an answer. I mean, anyone could do whatever you want. I'm not going to be like, don't buy this person's book because they blocked. I don't care. Like, you do whatever you want. Like, if you enjoy something and the guy, there's certain people that there's a lot of people I don't agree with, and I don't even like their social media personality. Maybe their actual personality when I meet them in person, I might like them, but I don't agree with a lot of things that people say, but I read their work, enjoy their work, or I don't enjoy their work, but whatever, I read it.
yeah, that's pretty much everybody. Um, I mean, that's a lot of people. Like, if I didn't read people's work who I didn't agree with their opinions on social media, I wouldn't read a lot.
Right.
You know,
Sometimes I don't even know like that the person's on social media. Like I just didn't care. Um, but
right?
I could see someone being like a super fan of somebody and then get caught up in a block bot chain or whatever and be like really mad about it. Like I could totally see that. I could totally be like, dude, I love everything you write and I talk about how great you are all the time, and then I come to see that I'm blocked by you. Like it's kind of, I could totally see you getting mad about it.
Yeah, I really don't care. I don't care. Uh, I'll I'll still get his stuff. I still like him. I know that he's probably in just some club and is showing solidarity uh, uh, with his little club of people. And
Yeah.
that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. Whatever.
I do find it interesting that um, this business like that isn't looked at the same way that an advertiser advertisers pull out of a show when a show does something controversial just because they're like, well, you're not brand safe anymore.
Right.
And it seems like they don't even care.
No.
Yeah, like these people represent your company, and you know you shouldn't treat your customers like garbage. You should have
Exactly.
some kind of code of conduct.
Yeah, exactly. I think DC has a code of conduct about it, and obviously, if someone's being mean or malicious to you, that you would block them personally, and that's fine. You don't have to, you know, if you mute people on Twitter, like you don't see their notifications if you don't follow them, so it's like not a big deal. You can mute them; you won't see it. They can say whatever they want. I don't think that that's a problem at all. You don't owe anyone your time, and you don't owe anyone answers, and you don't have to be available to everyone at all hours of the day. So that's fine. You don't have to answer people, but you shouldn't outright treat them bad. You know, even if you have a different opinion. Even if the guy's like, "Man, I really didn't like your book. It sucked."
Man,
You could just say you could not answer, or you could be like, Okay, what'd you not like about it? Or I hope you like the next one. Sorry. Like, what are you gonna do?
Twitter is such a toxic place. It
It's a
seems
weird place.
uh,
It's weird to me. It's getting more and more weird. But
it is weird, and it's weird, and yeah. I don't understand why people from any spectrum, like any point of view, I don't know why they automatically go to the worst places they possibly could with their arguments. And why two sides of the argument are so hell bent on showing the worst parts of their community. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
so somebody would say something, um, you know, I'm not really cool with them replacing all my heroes I grew up with new characters. I,
Mhm.
I really don't care that they did or not. I'm this hypothetical.
Right.
So the one guy says, "Yeah, I don't know why they just didn't introduce new characters. I don't know why they had to replace the characters I loved." You know,
Mhm.
that statement's totally fine, right? There's nothing offensive about that, I don't
No.
think.
No.
So then somebody on the other side's like, "You're just being a misogynist asshole because they made him a woman, and you're a homophobe because they made this guy gay, and you don't like this guy because it's written by a chick with a dick."
Mhm.
And then somebody from the other side will devolve it and then say something misogynistic or homophobic or transphobic. Like, they'll just prove the other side's point,
Mhm.
even though, like, why can't if you have two sides of the argument, how come it's always the worst parts of each side that float to the top and get all the notice? You know what I
I don't
mean?
know. It's like the extremes, and it's like
Right. Like, why does everybody have to be an asshole?
the extremes, and we sit here in the middle, like, what the hell is going on?
What the
Uh,
hell is wrong with people?
I don't know. I don't know. I see stuff. I laugh at a lot of things.
Oh,
I laugh at a lot of
me too.
I
What else
laugh at
can
a
you
lot of
do?
things, and I don't know. Yeah, it's just funny. I don't know. It's social media is a weird spot, man. It's a weird thing. You get white women telling Italian people that they're white and they're not marginalized, and stuff like that. It's pretty funny. Um. So what else? Did you read anything else?
Yeah, I read a ton. I read The Vision. I want to talk about that just a little bit. So I read that Vision. That was the King
Tom.
graphic. Tom
Yeah,
King.
Tom King. Yeah, it was 12 issues.
So I think they really overdid it on this hardcover with all
Yeah.
the
What do you
crap.
mean?
Well, with all the crap in the back. And I know a lot of people like that stuff, but I don't really need it. But I'd have to say I really love this story.
Yeah.
If I was picking that up in single issues, I don't know if I would have finished it.
You might have been like, I'm gonna drop it.
Yeah, but I sat down and pretty much read right through the whole thing.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I did. I read. I had the trade paperbacks. I think that's how I read it, and I just pretty much read the whole thing in one sitting, all 12.
and in one sitting, it was very good. But like, if I would have had to wait 4 or 5 weeks in between those issues, it was a little slow.
Yeah,
If that makes any sense.
I could totally see if you were waiting for it. You might not be feeling like you're getting enough out of one issue.
Uh, I don't think the story could have been told any other way. Like, I think it's
Right, right.
perfect the way they did it, but I don't know if I would have stuck with it on single issues, is all.
Yeah. So like I liked
And
the
I don't
story.
know.
I
I don't
enjoyed it.
even know if that's fair to say or not. That, you know, it's just I was like, it
Yeah, no, I
was.
think I think like I liked it. I thought it was a good story, but I think you're right. Maybe the format wasn't for like I think it's just one long story. So sometimes just getting like a chapter of one long story instead of getting like I don't know, sometimes like you get an issue and you're like that was a good issue. You know what I'm saying? And like it stands on its own. It doesn't need the two issues before and the four issues after. You know what I'm saying? So maybe this is just one big story.
There were some of the issues in there that it could definitely be like, okay, this was a better chapter. Or this was good. Like there was the issue where it was a flashback with Scarlet Witch, and it shows how she ended up making her kids and how she was kind of going crazy, and how he was like, no, we got to get rid of the kids. Of course, he was somebody else then, like he was a new Vision.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got the old Vision back, and he was all happy for Wanda because she hooked up with Wonder Man, and then she's like, "Oh, here's me, but not me." I don't know. The whole story was really good. I thought there were some profound things, kind of. Um, I don't know about profound, but there were some cool, like little statements in it that I really loved. Um, there was something right in the beginning where he was talking about they were talking about like that's so human. They were talking about oh, she goes, they seem kind, and he says nice. It's proper to say they seem nice. And she's like, this is the Vision and his wife Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I disagree. Kind carries a much more positive attribution than nice. Nice is, in fact, often used ironically, and I was not being ironic. And he says, you misunderstood. It is the ironic aspect of nice that gives the statement its meaning. As kind is unironic, to seem kind is to imply the potential of not being kind, or of even of being cruel. In contrast, nice, due to its ironic interpretation, has more of a flexible connotation. As such, they seem nice has a proper meaning of they may be nice or they may not be nice. Then the phrase is meaningless. And then he says, obviously, to assert as truth that which has no meaning is the core mission of humanity. And I was like, wow, that pretty much sums it up right there. To assert as truth which that which has no meaning is the core of humanity. So I just really I really dug that, and there's little nuggets like that all through the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Tom King did a good job writing that book. I really enjoyed the story, and um,
And this like odd family fitting in to this neighborhood and the kids going to school and uh just all that kind of things and dealing with the people in the town and in the school. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty neat. And the mom taking care of business. Like I think she was cool.
yeah, and the just like how her instinct to protect her family and stuff, like okay, so they're robots, but they were like so human in this book.
Oh yeah, they definitely had and kind of like a heartbreaking end.
Yes, yeah, it was very heartbreaking.
I mean it's been a while since I read it, but
And I can
I recommend that book, but I recommend that book like you read it one sitting. So get like a hardcover or the 2 trades to read it.
Yeah, it was. So there's about 8,000 pages of script and drawing and that kind of crap in the back of the hardcover if you're into that kind of stuff. Some people really dig the extras. I don't watch them on my DVDs either. I'm just not that
I
interested in
like
that
if
stuff.
I read something like they did this thing called when the first Civil War comic book came out for Marvel. They like I like that story a lot. I read it a bunch of times. They did something instead of saying like director's cut, and all they do is throw a few scripts in the back and like some sketches and like the art process, and then they're like, look, director's cut. And you're like, no, it's not. They did a book called a trade paperback of Civil War called a script book, in which they had written like commentary about each scene or scenes that they wanted to talk about. So they would tell you like, hey, I thought I was going to use this character for this moment, but then the editor stepped in and I had to use this person. And then the artist goes, yeah, and I wanted to draw him like this because I really liked, John Romita Jr.'s take of this character back in the 80s. So I drew him like that. So like that was really cool to see that the whole process play out page by page on that book, because I like that book, and to see like, oh, this is my original ending. Here's what I wanted to do, and
Yeah,
so it's more of a director's cut or more of a like the extras were interesting instead of being like, here's my script, here's some art, you know.
yeah. I think that's pretty much what's here. Is here's the script, here's some art. I don't know. I didn't
Yeah, you
read any
can't.
of it. It might be better than that. Like I said, I just don't. I'm just
You
not
don't
into
care.
that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I am a little bit more, but I could see that. Like,
Although I did watch all the deleted scenes from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back,
yeah,
and they pretty much cover, like, they cut so much out of that movie so it wouldn't get an NC-17 rating
yeah,
that you end up watching if you watch all the deleted scenes, you pretty much rewatch the whole movie, but with way funnier jokes.
right.
Because they were all like really vulgar jokes,
Vulgar, right?
and it was just like, oh man, that's so funny. And the joke that kept coming back was, oh, that's worse than a fistful of ass cock in the mouth.
Jesus.
And the other, and then the guy would have to and afterwards he would always say, ass is donkey, ass is donkey. I don't know, it was funny.
So, are we got time for one more book here?
We're, if you want, we're at 33 minutes.
Oh man. So I read Thanos Infinity Siblings, which is an original graphic novel that Marvel put out. It's by Jim Starlin and Alan Davis. And this is a story that Jim Starlin got upset about after he found out the current Thanos storyline was similar to this. And he got mad at Tom Brevoort, who is the senior editor at Marvel Comics. He's an executive editor or whatever that means. I don't know. But anyway, he got mad about how his storyline was similar to the Thanos ongoing. Obviously, the creators don't talk, but the editors need to know what stories are going through. And to be honest with you, I think the stories are different enough that doesn't matter. Maybe because this is going to be another trilogy of original graphic novels, maybe it gets closer to the Thanos ongoing, but I think it's definitely different enough. There's time travel in both involved in both storylines, and there's a part with Galactus that's kind of similar. But other than that, it's pretty different. The siblings is Thanos and his brother Star Fox, who was a member of the Avengers that we don't really see too much of in the current Marvel. But I won't go through this book. I'll just say that I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. I think it sets up some cool things for the next um, original graphic novel that we actually get to see. And but it stands alone as a separate story, so it's not like you only get part of a story. I think it's a full story here. King the Conqueror's in it, and it's got some cool time travel stuff. So I recommend picking that up. I think it's old school fun for Thanos.
All right. Outstanding. Uh, and if everybody wants to follow Dave's musings on Twitter, it's at Second Prince. You can follow me at Johnny Redbeard. You can also submit art to our show to John at blathercast.com. You know, hit the little notification and subscribe button, and yeah.
Yeah, like, comment, give us any suggestions. Tell us if you like the show. Tell us if you don't like the show. Let us know what you want us to talk about. If there's a book that you think we should be talking about, let us know. I know I talk a lot about like the new Age of Heroes books, but it's just easier to talk about new number ones, I guess, instead of jumping into a book that's like 50 issues in. And I know I talk a lot about Thanos. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Thanos. But if there's someone else you want me to talk about, let me know.
Yeah, or if you want us to talk about whatever. I love cooking, so if any of you guys want recipes, I'll talk about that.
I like eating. That's crazy.
Maybe I'll do a little video of how to make a proper hollandaise sauce or something.
Nice. I think you should do that, dude. Totally.
All right, another issue
in the bag.